Recently I've been going back through some of Bill Vensel's older videos on his Chords of Orion channel, particularly some of the videos to do with the TC Electronic flashback delay and how he used that. And he's done many videos about that, but one in particular stood out to me, which was a kind of Steve Reich method of phased looping. Reich used tape loops at the time, but we have the benefit of digital delays these days where we can do that. And the Flashback Triple delay has the benefit of a 7-second delay time, which is fantastic to work with. The second video that stood out was about stacking delays, and particularly Bill's method of taking the two outputs from a stereo delay and putting one into a mono delay and another into a second mono delay. If you set them differently, you get two completely different sounds on either side. So the last two videos I put up, I've worked with those two, particularly with the phased looping technique. And I've also, in the first video, I used a bit of the two mono delays from the stereo output. So in this video, I'm going to have a walkthrough of how I put those videos together and how I used the delays and how I set them up. So we'll have a look at that after this bit of music. First of all, I'll talk you through the board that I have here. I had a number of delay pedals I wasn't using, or including the Hall of Fame pedal, the reverb pedal. So I thought, when I looked at these videos, I thought, let's put something together. The El Capistan is such a lovely pedal, and that has that lovely tape delay on it. And the flashback. This is an original flashback, the Mark I, and the Hall of Fame. But at the heart of it is the Flashback Triple delay. And this is a fantastic piece of kit. So let me explain how everything goes. The signal comes in from the bass into the triple delay, and then the output goes, one side goes to the El Capistan, the other side goes to the flashback delay here. They are then summed up into the Hall of Fame, which goes out to be recorded. Now, it's important with this technique that you have this set to parallel, so that each of the delays that you're using in this are going on their own line. If you have it set to serial, they're going to be going one into each other, and you're not going to get the effect that I want to get here. So I'll go through this one by one and how I set them up. I'll start with delay 1. I set this to an ordinary quarter note delay, and I set the first one to the 2290 mod. You can set them to any delay you like. I'll switch it on. Now, time, I wound the time right up as full as it would go, likewise with the repeats. So you're getting the full benefit of the looping system, the full 7 seconds of delay. And of course, to save that in the triple delay, you just press that until you get the flashing lights, and that's it set. So that's number 1 delay. Number 2 delay switch it to that. I just set it to an ordinary 2290. Again, it was set to the quarter note setting. Repeats, again, were up to full. And the mix is about halfway. Now the difference with this one was I set the time very slightly back. Very slightly, just to the end of the arrow that you can see there. Just past the point of the arrow. And once that's all in place, again, you press that and that saves it. Now the third delay. This is the one I'm going to be playing the tune through, so it's not quite so important to have it set as long as the other two. I set this just to a 2290 and took the time back to about 12 o'clock, like that. Repeats, again, they were about 12 o'clock. Mix much the same. In serial again. This time I took this round, right round to a dotted eighth plus an eighth. This gives a lovely spread of stereo on the headphones. And that again was saved. And that's that setup. Now, as I say, this side goes out to the El Capistan. This side of the stereo output goes to the El Capistan. You can see where I've set the time there. Repeats just about past halfway. I've set the tape age to as old as it can get. Wow and flutter is about straight up. Mix is just under halfway. On the flashback delay, I set it to another 2290. Take the feedback back a bit there. Delay again is much the same as that, and again much the same as El Capistan, and the level of it is way back there. With the Hall of Fame up at the top here, I'll set the decay back a little bit. And the tone is quite wide open. It's about 60%, 70%. And the effects level is about straight up. This is just an ordinary hall reverb. So let's have a listen to some of the sounds. Hello, Future Graham here. One thing I forgot to mention in the main video was I've put the links to the Bill Wenzel videos on the Chords of Orion channel down in the description. So I'd encourage you, once you've finished listening to this video, to go off and look at his videos, because Bill will demonstrate them and explain how to do all the techniques a lot better than I can. So with that, I'll hand you back to real time, Graham. I'll start by playing something into each of delays 1 and 2, which I'll switch on together. And pretty quickly you'll start to hear these loops going out of phase, and they'll get further and further apart as time goes on. The first piece I put up was just some picked harmonics at the 12th and the 7th. So switch on delays 1 and 2 and just pick something. And immediately you can start to hear the delays going out of phase. And you can hear the distance between them getting longer and longer each repeat. And I'll just try what I did with the second one, which was an Ebow, some Ebowed notes. I'll show you how that worked. And they make up a chord in themselves, those notes. They're almost the full length of each time delay. Maybe not quite so noticeable because you don't have the rhythmic element in this one, but it's subtly moving away there. And you can start to hear a bit of a change in it. And then, as this is on buffered bypass, I can switch them off. Then I can introduce the third delay and just play something over the top of it. Turn the volume up. And you can just improvise over the top, play a little tune that you've made up, something like that. And as I did in the first one, I'll repeat that. And then try and put that through the stereo delays. And you hear that going off into the different phases. But then you introduce the two mono delays. And you can play around with the delay times on that. And to take them out again. And once they've faded away, you start to hear the original. And bringing them back in, you get that extra rhythm. Bring a bit of wow and flutter into the El Cap. And if you're listening to this in headphones and stereo, you get the full benefit of that. And that's an idea of how I used the phase looping. So take a listen back. The links to both videos will be under this one at the end. take a listen back to them and see how they compare. And why not try it with your own? You don't have to use these particular pedals, but if you can get two delays that work in parallel, if you have two pedals that you can plug up in parallel, you can get exactly that phase looping. And you get some interesting effects from it. And I'll let that play out a bit, and I'll see you in the next video.